accessible. Now you see it in a live map. And while I just showed you 3 maps, there are literally hundreds, if not thousands of maps coming up through our organization and into UPlan. And for me, these little successes are really quite remarkable. It wasn't long ago that I used to walk around with one of these, and I would spend a lot of time going and finding information. What if we need a traffic data? I'd have to take this flash drive, walk over to our traffic guy, ask him, well, actually beg him to download the data, so I could then take that data, walk over to our GIS analyst, have him download it, and then upload it into a map. UPlan is changing the discussion. Now I'd like to introduce somebody to you who's been very key to the development and deployment of UPlan. He's UDOT's GIS manager, and we all like to call him UPlan's hero. Help me welcome Frank Pisano.
As GIS manager, I am essentially a service provider to my organization. It is my job to make sure our spatial data is available and authoritative. ArcGIS Online is changing the way I'm able to support my department. The ability to rapidly publish web content has extended the value and capability of my GIS section. It's also changing the way people are thinking about maps. No longer at UDOT are we satisfying map requests with just static PDFs. Our users are beginning to expect a link to a live, dynamic web map in their inbox. Now I'd like to show you a few more examples of how we're using ArcGIS Online. First of all, this home screen has become a great gathering place for our users. The ability to focus content has been a valuable way for us to engage our casual users in these environments. This is a sample of our group structure. Our groups mirror the way we operate at UDOT. This top group is a group focused on a specific planning study on Interstate 15. This group was created to support an interagency coordination effort around emergency management. And this group is for a specific management unit at UDOT, our Region 3. Now, groups are great because historically, I had to be the gatekeeper to all web publishing. Now, with ArcGIS Online, I can empower my users to manage and deliver their own content in an organized way. We've also used groups as a venue with which we share sensitive content around UDOT, and also have promoted content throughout the UPlan community with groups. I'm opening a web application that's a visualization of another effort under UPlan, and that's our Planning and Environmental Linkage effort, or PEL. This PEL effort is to evaluate the environmental impacts of a project early on in a project lifecycle. And you're seeing in this web application 2 maps. The map on the left is of sensitive environmental resources from various state agencies in Utah. And the map on the right is our 20-year long-range transportation plan projects that John showed earlier in the enterprise map. What's important about this is it's helping us share our data in context with other agencies' data. And that's the whole goal of UPlan, that collaboration. What's also great about this is highly detailed data. There's a lot of data in this map. And previously, John had to look over my shoulder as I operated ArcGIS Desktop to get to this information. Now, with this simple web application template, I'm taking that end-user functionality of GIS and putting it in the hands of the non-user. And it's highly accessible. Everyone has access to this information. This is a PEL report. This takes our environmental screening one step further. This is a dense report of a variety of data from many different state agencies. This report was created at the desktop level using geoprocessing and Python, and then attached to each individual project geometry. What's great about this is that this report is now highly available. It's easily accessible in a spatial environment that our users have become fond of. In closing, As GIS manager, I found at UDOT that our employees were already starting to use ArcGIS Online on their own. So with our U-Plan organization, it's allowed me to focus the platform and make it a more valuable tool for UDOT. Bottom line, ArcGIS Online is changing my workflow. It's changing the workflow of the planning process, and it's changing the way we collaborate in Utah. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you. Recently, senior leaders at UDOT came to Frank and asked for a very important map with very specific information about projects all around the state to be built. And of course, they needed it right away. So Frank and his team got busy, made this wonderful map, turned it around faster than anybody had expected. And the neat thing happened when our senior leaders, by themselves, used that map, this is a live map, and gave information